Hello everybody, it's Tommy and welcome back to another Creative Sim for the Disney Save. Today we're going to be working on Periwinkle from Tinkerbell and the Secret of the Wings. She is Tinkerbell's twin sister in the movie, and basically that meant that we were essentially going to be creating Tinkerbell. One of the things that they say in the movie is that they are literally identical. They stand them next to one another and they have essentially the same facial features. The only really big difference being that Periwinkle is a little bit lighter in skin tone. She's supposed to be like kind of iced out, kind of cool toned, and she has white hair and definitely like a very different type of haircut versus Tinkerbell. But it was kind of exciting because Tinkerbell is a character that I feel like a lot of people, including myself, are really looking forward to creating for the Disney Save, and to be able to create her a lot early because this was a fan request and something that I had not been planning from the beginning of Mount Komorebi was kind of exciting. We'll be able to re-download her and use her facial model and like her body and everything as the base for Tinkerbell. And although I'm sure I will make some adjustments by the time we get to that point, I really feel good about where Perry ended up. Now, when we started this video out, I was live on Twitch and I had just had a big issue about loading my game. Essentially, the game was broken after installing paranormal stuff, and I had to reset a lot of the stuff in the game. I had to go through a lot of bug fixes and stuff to try to get it to work. Eventually, we were able to get it to run, but it made it so that none of my mods were installed. The things that I normally play with are not installed. So you'll notice that she's wearing the EA eyelashes, which is something that I have a mod to remove, and then the background is a little bit wrong, and the 4 columns Cass mod that I'm a really big fan of is not installed for the first half of the video. I ended up getting off of stream about halfway through and finishing her on my own. Picking an outfit was no short of a nightmare for Perry because we really don't have a lot of like magical and nature related clothing, especially something that would really fit for like a fairy. It was hard to pick what would be a good replacement for her, but still stick with like the same colors, the same general scheme. And ultimately, she came out a lot different than I think in my head I had envisioned her, but I still think she hits really close to what her character looks like in the movie, and I'm pretty happy with it. One of the things that was pretty big for me was that I really didn't want to use the fairy costumes from the Spooky Stuff pack. They're really cool, but they look like costumes, and although I'm sure it would be fun to maybe like add that as a secondary outfit option, I was thinking about when we make Tinkerbell in the future and when we make a lot of the other characters from Pixie Hollow, and how I really just don't want them all running around in like those fairy costumes from the Spooky Stuff pack. Also, I did make Perry a spellcaster. She is a teen spellcaster. She is a townie for Mount Komorebi, so she will live by herself right now. She does have a home. If you missed the speed build that I put out on Wednesday, it's up on a hidden lot in Mount Komorebi. Definitely recommend you check that out in the playlist link down below. But she won't live there because it's a hidden lot. She sort of has to just exist in the world, and when you go to that lot, you know that it's Perry's home, but because of the game mechanics, I'm unable to actually make her reside there. So she'll just sort of be a townie. And of course, she'll be on the gallery eventually, so you'll be able to download her if you want to make her more of like a mainstream character in your Disney Save adventures. You can definitely do so, or always add her to a family. That's what I always like to preface when it comes to townies. You can always add townies to a family and like switch families around, you know what I mean? It's all totally up to you. Someone else had mentioned that maybe we add a few more of the winter fairies to her household, and I'm open to the idea. The only reason I didn't this time, I feel, is because there is sort of like a cap in the game about how many characters can be included in any given save file, and I am not concerned that I'm going to hit that mark. In fact, I think I'm going to have to stretch a little bit to reach it, so it might be good down the pipeline to come back to characters like Perry and add some of her friends that are maybe lesser known characters and they're only really in the one Tinkerbell movie kind of a deal, so they're just not as important as like Periwinkle would be if we were planning out like this huge save file. So I would like to, and it's in the back of my mind to possibly come back to it as an idea, but I do have to think about the sim limit, and I would hate to run out of room at the end and have to try to figure out who we're going to have to start cutting. That would be like the worst case scenario. Obviously, townies would go first. Prominent townies would be staying over like townies that I've sort of made up. So things like Belle's village characters, those kinds of things would kind of go out. But like I said, I'm not really expecting to hit that, and I'm not foreseeing that to be an issue, but it's something that's in the back of my head. So I did skip it for now and just decide to do Peri. Now, like I said with her outfit, I think the biggest struggle was that she wears this like feather dress. It sort of looks like it's a bird's feather wrapped around her body and or some kind of like a frosted leaf. And it has that beautiful, like it's draped very nicely, so it's sort of jagged and like asymmetrical across her legs, but it's also strapless, and it was a little bit difficult to find a combo or a dress that was not only strapless but maybe like hugs her in the right way and also has that asymmetry to it and comes in the classic like Peri blue color, because obviously there are a bunch of different shades of blue. And we found one outfit that was like a really strong contender, and it was the island living over the shoulder like tied top combined with a skirt, and that was the one that we were sort of leaning towards for a really long time. But the problem was it's so close to what Silver Mist wears, and I was thinking in the back of my head that it would really suck if all of these guys were together and two of the big characters were wearing something really similar, and that's something that I always try to avoid when it comes to the Disney save. So ultimately, I ended up going with something that was like maybe a little bit further from what she actually wears. She does have like her short at the knee capri leggings, some little slippers, and a strapless blue dress. And I did find one that draped a little bit better that was recommended to me by a patron, so it ended up working out. Also, my sliders are currently broken for my makeup, so I did add a little bit of blush to Peri, but I wasn't able to tone it back in the way that I would have liked to. It's something that's going on with the recent update. I can't move the blush slider. I don't know. Very weird. I discovered it on stream, and obviously it was very annoying. So her makeup is just a little bit off, and I do want to point out that there is a new thumbnail that I will be using for characters for the Disney Save. It was the thumbnail that I used today for Peri's cast. All future Disney Save character casts will look like that, so look out for those in the future. And I hope you guys enjoyed her. Let me know what you thought of Peri in the comment section down below. Don't forget to follow me over on Twitch. If you would like to support the Disney Save on Patreon, you can do so by clicking the link in the description box down below or the one at the end of the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Hit that little bell icon below to turn on post notifications so you can get updated every single time I post, and I will talk to you all in the next one.